City Hall because Starbucks was doing the training. But let me say, it is always a blessing to be among you all, and just to share some insight about what's happening within, around the city of Miami Gardens. The councilwoman has a lot of our great city staff members present today that will share with you updates, give you some information about the measures that we're taking to ensure your safety throughout our communities, what code enforcement has been doing, address some of your issues and your concerns. Many of you all know I've been spending the last 6 months with the Vice Mayor Impact Tour. And we've been going to different neighborhood parks and bringing out city resources to create essentially accessibility for you to get what you need, address your issues and concerns. So that's what you see all the tables on the outside. Those are just different departments within the city that's here to address any concerns or issues that you may have. From our code enforcement, our amazing police department is present. Ticket. If you haven't received your meal ticket, Anthony is in back. You can see ticket. If you haven't received your meal ticket, Anthony is in back. You can see him, and he can do that for get you that ticket. In addition to Mrs. Stewart, who runs who's my legislative analyst, you also
redundant questions. So let's make sure that you hear it. Make sure that you give them your undivided attention. And I'm also going to ask everybody that's moving around the room, settle down, so that it's not a distraction to him while he's talking and to everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your classroom management skills.
I'm a 30-year educator, trust me.
Yeah, 30-year educator, but you're not giving yourself no justice, also administrator.
That is correct. That is correct.
But thank you, Councilwoman, for that. But yes, so I really don't have much to say other than I'm just here to address any concerns or issues that you all may have. My spiel about what I've been doing in my office and what I'm leading in the coming weeks and coming months and year, it happens at my table talk, so you all are welcome to join me every first Tuesday at Starbucks on 27th Avenue at 6:30, I believe. 6:30 every first Tuesday. That's when I go into details about what it is that I'm doing. Tonight's not about me. Tonight is about you all taking advantage of the resources that we have here. So I want to make sure that we make time for that. You hear from our amazing staff members. And then you can get to enjoy some dinner from one of our local restaurants here in the city of Miami Gardens, okay? I'll be around, so if you have any questions for me, yes, ma'am.
First of all, I would like to say you've done an amazing job. I just love you and I appreciate you being our vice mayor.
Oh, thank you.
You're just always busy. And you can actually get stuff done. So, yeah, let's clap.
You know, I think I'm gonna kind of meet me Mondays a little bit more. But again, yes, ma'am.
The free e-service, how does that work?
It's like it's a mobile app. You download the mobile app freebie in your Apple Store or your Android Play Store, and then you select the city of Miami Gardens as your default city, and then you just request a ride. It's just like an Uber or Lyft app. It'll pick you up from your home, and it'll take you to wherever you want to go. You stay there for an hour, and then it'll bring you back to your home. You have to be to that destination for an hour. So if you want to go to Walmart, it'll come to your house, pick you up, drop you off to Walmart, you shop for an hour, and then call it back, and it'll come back and pick you
So
up.
if I wanna come to pick you Monday.
It'll pick you up, but it go offline at what time?
7.
7. So you're gonna have to catch a ride from your neighbors. All right, so I'll be around. I'm sticking around tonight. So if you have any questions or anything that you would like to run by me, please feel free to let me know. As always, it's great to see each of you. May God bless and keep you as my friends. Thank you.
So one of the things that we often talk about whenever we have large events and stadium events and things like that, we like to give you the lay of the land in terms of traffic and what you can expect and how you can conduct yourselves, right? And if you guys learn anything or you have questions about anything, I would prefer that you ask them. Our police who do an incredible job. They're not the only force that is out here. You know, they have the state patrol, the Florida State highway patrolmen, as well as other, agencies. And so it's not just our police that are on the ground, but not only is it not just our police that are on the ground, but there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that will converge upon our city. The city of Miami Gardens as well as the county of Dade County. And so when we look, or really the Tri-County, they'll be here in Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. And so they're coming down to attend the game, but they're also coming down to visit and be a part of the game festivities that are all around Hollywood and with the casino that is up there, South Beach, Broward County. But really at the end of the day, they are in fact coming here. And so we want to be on our best, we want to shine all the way through, but the only way that you can be the very best is when you have information. And so I am proud to welcome our chief and the sergeant who are here almost every month with us to come on up and give you the lay of the land for the next couple of days.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Chief Young Pratt. I just have a couple of folks here with me this evening. First and foremost, as you know, we just ended 2025, and I'm happy to report that we ended the year very, very strong at -17%. That is over 700 cases less than we had last year. Pretty much minus in every category. The only two categories that we were up a little bit of couple cases were burglaries. Residential and commercial, very slightly. So overall, very, very well, and we always want to keep it negative. I'm going to have my executive officer, Sergeant Quincy, speak on the traffic. But prior to me doing that, I just want to introduce to you all, I don't know if you all know, but Major Hughes will be sworn to assist Chief on January 17th. Now, some of you may be saying, what's going on with Nargisa, right? This morning also getting I also have with me here one of our very, a great, awesome victim advocate, Claudia Robinson. And Officer Jeanette Richardson. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. So as you know, University of Miami, they made it to the national championship. So you know what that means. There's going to definitely be an influx of personnel, influx of traffic in our city. But rest assured, the police department is prepared to deal with that at the highest level. So some of the things that's going to be going on. Remember your resident passes. That's going to be very important, so you can be able to get to and from your home. The police department, through the chief's orders, has doubled the staff for the day. So there's going to be double the amount of staff for the day to ensure that the officers are able to respond to calls for service and to the community's needs. So those are the different things that's happening. There's going to be some road closures. Pay attention to our social media page. And pay attention to the City of Miami Gardens social media page. The Miami Gardens social media page is Miami Gardens PD. That's on Instagram and Facebook. Pay attention because we'll be putting some traffic advisory up there to let you guys know what's open, and what's closed. Also, we're receiving information, I guess, because the way the stadium is set up this year, there's some exterior locations that may be having tailgate parties, which is not sanctioned by us. If you see that, go ahead and give us a call, notify us so we can send the police out there so we can go ahead and address it before it becomes a public concern. Outside of that, I don't really have much. Just know it's gonna be a lot of traffic, right? So we're gonna have Miami Gardens PD, Miami-Dade County Sheriff's Department. We're gonna have Florida Highway Patrol. The chief has reached out to her counterparts, other chiefs from other agencies. So if you see like North Miami Police, or if you see other different municipalities like City of Miami, they're here working with our police department to strengthen that partnership. The same way if they had a major event, City of Miami calls us and we send a few personnel down to the City of Miami. So that's what's gonna be happening, but it doesn't start on the 19th. These preparations are being put in place now. And as a matter of fact, the increased visibility and the increased patrols are starting 24 hours prior to the event taking place. You're gonna see a lot of police cars. Don't worry, nothing's happening. It's just going to be, we just want to be prepared. We want to be prepared for the game. I received some emails. Is it gonna be like FIFA? I'm not FIFA. What's the thing?
Como Bowl.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about that. Again, Miami-Dade Sheriff's Department is going to be taking care of the interior. They're also going to be taking care of the exterior. They have specialized teams called rapid deployment officers who are ready, able, and prepared to deal with unruly crowd. In addition to our personnel as well. So that's what I have for you guys. If you guys have anything else for me, please go ahead and ask.
So, question regarding Cherry Bay. I know they have officers on 191st and 199. Just my suggestion to put up a sign noting that it's local access only, because I know the last event, I don't remember what it was blocked off, and there were still people who had questions, and I saw folks kind of blocking the area. So I know folks are not aware of it because they were getting out of the car asking, why is this locked? This closed off with police on this side and that side. So that's just my 10 cents as someone walking around, and I just happened to see that in the community.
Officer Yvette Richardson, she's gonna get your contact information, so you could, in another setting, explain it. We're gonna have the lobby officer in that area put a plan together to ensure that concern you brought up is addressed.
Okay.
Maybe we'll need to see an influx of traffic. Are we anticipating a lot of traffic like Friday, tomorrow?
No, so the event's on the 19th, so you're gonna see that traffic in the morning, early morning. First of all, the traffic, the stadium is setting up, so you may see some more traffic than usual, 18-wheelers, different things traveling through, getting everything prepared. But the traffic is really gonna start Monday, and also don't forget, Monday is also MLK, right? So with the football game, also MLK, it's gonna be traffic.
Because I know they start having cones out, so the cones won't come out until Monday.
So yes, early Monday morning, early Monday morning. You're talking about maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They'll start going, and they're gonna start sectioning off those emergency lanes and things like that.
The cool thing is that it is a holiday. So if you don't have to get up and get out, try to do
No,
it.
I'm telling people that.
And enjoy the company of your home on Monday, so that you don't get stuck in a lot of unanticipated traffic. Because there very well could be the case. So if you can avoid it, let's try to avoid it. Okay?
Ma'am?
Do you plan to have this barricade man on 199th and 27th Avenue? Homeowners would like to make a little money. You bring the stadium is there, you bring it in the traffic, you gotta deal with all this traffic. We need to get something out of this deal.
Ma'am, so my purpose here is to provide you the traffic information. What you do with your home is totally up to you. I can't govern that.
So I'm asking, are you planning on barricading us in?
I don't have the physical traffic plan in front of me, but if that is part of the safety plan, then there's a potential that can happen, yes. But you'll be able to get to and from your home, which your resident has an ID.
So homeowners can't make no money on this, bringing all these people in our community. If we can't make no money parking cars,
Here's the deal. Now, at the end of the day, he just answered that question. There's a traffic pattern. There are lots of people that are making money. So when you say a homeowner, it may not be you, but there are plenty of homeowners that are making money who allow people to park on their yard. But there are safety issues that deal with the flow of traffic that may affect your ability to be able to do it. Like he is saying, we are not telling anyone that they can't allow anyone to park on their property. But the safety of all residents coming in and out of this city, as designated by the law enforcement personnel, and the location of your home may not be congruent for you to make money. And
that's
why
my
I think that's what
concern.
he's
That's
saying.
my concern, because we're directly across from the stadium. The first community you get directly across from the stadium, right there on 27th Avenue and 199th Lane. So that's my question,
So
right there.
it may be a safety issue related to access, that's what he was saying to you. that the way that the traffic patterns are laid out, that's a law enforcement issue and they're not.
So,
That's a clean zone.
yeah,
We don't have.
That's
I'm
clean.
gonna get your information, and I'm gonna review the traffic plan, and I'll let you know if you're affected by it. I think that's fair. I'll let you know if you're affected by it. Yes.
I wanted to find out, what time is it function, for the March communique? What time does it start?
There's nothing here.
I don't have that information, but I'll get that information to you.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, like, guys. Remember, listen, guys. We gotta hear what the question is. And so, I would ask that you refrain from talking so that everybody can hear the question, because people will say, what did she say? And they hear the answer, but they don't know what the answer is to the question. So let's let everybody have their question answered, and answer it. And Sergeant, if you could, allow them to repeat the question.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
everybody can.
Yes, ma'am.
Did they stop the people was with the carts?
The question was, did we stop the people with the carts? So there's a clean zone, right?
that's my
So
question.
they are still able to operate, but there is a geofence zone that they're not able to operate. So they're gonna be more so on the outskirts. They only can get so close to the stadium. So it's still around, but, it was causing some major
Oh,
traffic
yes.
delays.
Oh, yes.
So therefore, there has been a zone that's been created, and they have to stay within the confines of
And where's that zone?
of that zone. It's,
32nd Avenue to 12th
you
Avenue,
know, clean zone.
Oh.
County Line Road to
Because they
183rd.
stopped it one on for 37.
32nd on the west, 12th Avenue on the
It goes
east
from, I believe it goes from 12th Avenue.
to 32nd,
Oh, to
30
32nd?
32nd, County Line Road to 183rd.
So yeah, they can't come within those, within that clean zone. If you want the exact location,
Oh, no, they was dangerous, and it was like, weaving in and out of traffic, it was dangerous, a lot of traffic on 37th Avenue. It took you like 2 hours to get, even if you're going through the back area of our neighborhood, to go to 37th Avenue to turn on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was crazy.
no, she said that, she's happy, like, basically that it's being addressed, there was a problem with them weaving in and out of traffic. So kind of basically what happened, she stated that she doesn't even know exactly where the clean zone is, but we wonder what happened to those carts.
She refers to the pedicabs?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was kind of my question I was gonna ask. For the clean zone, I know there's there's an ordinance. Does that apply for this event where it's 7 days prior to the event? Because I see on the city's page that it said the day before, on the post that was today, it said the day before, so I'm just want to clarify, 7 days meaning today is the clean zone, start of the clean zone? Okay,
Yes.
just want to verify.
And if you wanna know the boundaries, it's Street Avenue on the west, County Line Road on the
Okay.
north, 12th Avenue on the east, and 183rd Street on the south.
Yeah,
So it's a box.
yeah.
All right, any other questions?
One second.
The question was, she might have misplaced a resident pass, is there a way to get another one? Yes, we can get you another resident pass. That's not a problem. Yeah, they're at City Hall, and just provide ID, and I'm sure they'll.
So if you have any questions, just raise your hand and Jamal will use the mic to circulate it, so that we can make sure that our conversation goes smoothly.
All right, thank you.
That's it. That's it.
So that took away parking. In the park.
You know, the one thing I do want to say that is, over this week, as we go through this week, as we go through the week, remember that we are all ambassadors for the city of Miami Gardens. We all are. This is where we live, work, and play, and of course, when we have visitors and people like that, they get lost, they do things that they shouldn't do, and we can exercise our rights as citizens to report anything that we believe is unsafe, as well as if people are lost, to be ambassadors to help them to get where they're going. And, once again, just to also practice safety issues for ourselves. We're gonna be very, very busy, our city will be very, very busy because of the number of people that will be converging on the city. But the one thing that I have to commend our police on and the safety of this city is that they have been well prepared and they've gotten nothing but better and better and better and better every single year. We're being able to accommodate these numbers, whether they're football games, whether it's racing that goes on here in our city, even the city with its own events that we have, where we have events with thousands of people with our Jazz in the Gardens, et cetera, converge. And they have proven that they have a very good system of being able to handle those crowds. But I know that our participation makes it much easier. As residents and people that live here, that are invested here, that are taxpayers here, when we are able to report things that we see, when we are able to come in our doors and be able to stay on the inside during this time, it helps us all. And it keeps us moving and keeps us, our community with a real nice image for the world to be able to see. And so I just encourage you all to continue to be the stellar citizens that you are, and to, for your own good, if you don't need to be out, don't be out, and just enjoy this wonderful weekend, because, I really am wishing you the very best. I hope that they win. I hope the whole country. Do we have any other questions on the same?
Yes, can I ask a question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
You was asking about your resident, I thought your driving license was your resident where you live.
Well,
That can help, but it's easier to have a resident access pass because it's a little bit larger and it helps PD to identify it faster than having to check the address on your driver's license. So it's recommended that you go to City Hall to get a resident access pass that lasts for the entire year. It's totally free. All you have to do is just show your driver's license and they'll hand you one right in a moment, less than a minute. Yeah. You're welcome.
I got it.
yes.
One last question. Do you guys know where the parking lots are going to be in the city? Because I know that's a question that folks have had for this specifically, because this is a home game. If they do win, the reaction after, I'm just, that's just someone just asking that question.
So what is your question, though?
Where are the parking lots located in the city of Miami Gardens? Because some parking lots are at parks. Some are at a church on 207, then you have Snake Creek Canal that goes from 27th all the way to past 37th Avenue. That is a parking lot where I guess these ladies live too. So my question is, do you guys have a location of the parking lots for the event? Because, so folks can make a,
Well, no, the only lot that we, the city of Miami Gardens has agreed to is Betty T. Ferguson, a recreational center, as a ride share. Every other business or organization, they make their own agreements within the Hard Rock Stadium. So that's we don't know that all of the churches or the different businesses that have large amount of properties that is allowing them to park. That don't have anything to do with us. But far as what we have in our property, it's only Betty T. Ferguson as the ride share lot. 35 acres is not being used. The 5 acres on 183 is not being used. That's it. No other than just the ride share of the Uber and the Lyft is at Betty T. Ferguson. But like I said, all of the churches or the schools, they go through their different entities to make those agreements.
so does the city,
We don't have a list of where
Okay.
they are. No, yes, ma'am.
So are you saying that, so when we see the different lot signs that are posted,
Yep,
those
yep.
the facilities?
That's the Hard Rock. So the Hard Rock goes to whom they see that has parking spaces, and they work out agreements with them. So if your church, for an example, can host 100 cars, the Hard Rock go to that church and say, hey, if we pay you X, Y, and Z, can we park cars here? Can we make this a lot? That's pretty much how that works out. Yeah, so we the city don't necessarily know where all of the parking spaces are. All of the parking lots are. What I will say is that they're implementing the procedure that they do for F1 where they're shuttling a lot of the traffic in. So we won't have much parking throughout the city as if it was in the past. They're gonna be shuttling the residents from, the participants from, Golden Lakes Exchange, Miami-Dade College North Campus, they'll be busing them in throughout the city. Yeah.
Is it possible that we can ask for now or later for our city to know, so when you get these questions, or they will come back, when you get these questions as to why is this particular area a place to park, and this isn't, who brought it up, so that we as a city know these, so this is an ask that we can ask.
Yes, Calder is used as a parking lot.
It's possible.
Let's ask it out.
Yeah, no, it's possible. We can take it back to our city manager, because they meet with the Hard Rock Stadium once a month. So we can take that back and have them to ask for that. That's possible for sure. Post it, get it out to the community. Yeah, we can do that for sure.
Okay, any more questions about, the game and the stadium events and anything like that? Are we good there? Okay, all right. So then we do have some code enforcement, is our code enforcement? Cedric is there. Come on up. So we have seen Cedric in a while. We're glad he's here. Absolutely wonderful.
I will post all the parking lots when I get a chance, but I know they're.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's good to see all of you. I have not had the pleasure of meeting you prior to that. My name is Cedric DeVoe, and I'm one of the code enforcement supervisors for the city of Miami. My report is followed for the month of December in reference to one of our biggest challenges, which is the heavy vehicles of the tractor trailers, the car haulers, the things that you see. A lot of our residents do this for a living. In the month of December, November, when the holidays come, people come back home to be with their families. Unfortunately, they bring these vehicles into our residential areas. So during the month of December, we encountered and tagged with a sticker like this color on to be towed, 50 vehicles. Out of that 50, we actually wound up towing 31 of them. So the remainder of that, 50 from the 31, voluntarily removed before we could tow it. And we issued 152 citations at $500 apiece during the month of December for this. So we're actively still pursuing all of the heavy vehicle traffic inside our residential community. Aside from that, on a personal note, I would like to say thank you to my superiors, neighbors, everybody, for your well wishes during my bereavement time.
His mother passed.
I was saying thank you for the support I received during the time that I lost my mother. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you. I'll take any questions or concerns you have now.
I got one, of course. Shh.
If you see a large vehicle parked in your neighborhood, who do you call?
We got several different options, but my superiors in the city have been so forthcoming with this, and I got a brand new app called City Cares. You don't have to call anywhere. You can put the app on your phone or your device. You can input City Cares. You can input that information, whatever your concern is. We no longer use the term complaint. And it'll be addressed forthcoming by whatever department in the city has to handle. That particular issue will be under my department's purview, depending on the time of day you see it. If it's in the middle of the night outside of code enforcement's operation hours, we fall directly under the Eagle Pratt and Miami Gardens Police Department. And they'll health officer go out and address that. If it's something more that has to be done, they're pretty good at relaying that information, so we'll follow up with every next one and just keep rolling with it. And everybody hear that? Did everybody hear her question?
Me, of course. Okay, so the bitch boy, black boy graffiti that's on 199, what is the situation? That has been over a year.
Ask me that before.
Yes.
Want to give you the spirit?
That looks terrible.
Her question is, the graffiti that's on the wall, that's on the south side of 199th Street, just west of 27th Avenue, right behind the Speedway gas station. Red graffiti on the wall, it's a Leslie Estates property. When you don't see the condition change, does unfortunately, that particular community has been slow in moving their feet to get that done. That's my individual case personally myself, and I placed the lien on that property in the month of November, before I left for that. And as you said, that's been about a year.
Yeah.
So that fine, or that lien was a hefty amount at the time, and it's still going at $250 a day until they correct it.
Crazy.
I said, I think you have to put emphasis on, because it's important to know that just because you don't see the condition change, doesn't mean that it hasn't been addressed. And I know my scholar residents know that, but for those of you that don't know how the process works, a lot of times code enforcement, our police department, they are addressing the issues. The RVs, the boats that are large, and all of these things that you see happening in your community. But the best that we can do in that moment is fine them, put liens on the homes. But what the mindset is, if I've been living in my home for 20, 30 years and I have no plan on selling right now, or selling at all, then I'm gonna drag my feet. I ain't gonna pay attention to it, because that's all they keep doing. So that's what's happening. I just wanted to put emphasis on that. A lot of times, the city, because we do have an amazing code enforcement department and an amazing team, yeah, I think they ought to be celebrated. We do have an amazing team, but people, it is what, yeah, they're not moving aggressively. So that's all. I just wanted to put emphasis on that.
And you know, like a lot of times it's about respecting your lifestyle.
Correct.
And a lot of people don't believe that the change that we are requesting is a fair change. And so they have the right to dispute it, just as much as we have the right to change it. So that takes a little bit of time,
Yeah.
oftentimes. So you have to, it's a balancing act.
I'll take your questions. Listen,
My neighbor has an 8-foot fence gate.
We can't hear.
Across from me, my neighbor has a white 8-foot gate in her front yard. And they hang, I know you probably can't say anything about them hanging their blankets and sheets and all that stuff on the front yard. Oh, and his address. I've been in my house, next month, February, I've been in my house 45 years, but that's the address for the one with this is the one with the gate is 2. This is the one with the gate, and this is the one you need to go to the back, that's all I'm gonna say. But the note is there.
You know, like, to be honest with you, it never feels good to have a complaint. It only feels good when it's satisfied. And so, many times, people think that when you are complaining, that you just have a bunch of foolishness going. But it is the beginning of change, it is the beginning of bringing uniformity, and sometimes it respects the right of all of us to live in a clean and orderly neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to feel that your complaints are unwelcome. They are actually welcome.
Concerns.
It's just that, remember, we are not the infractors of the problem. So don't take out your anger on us, because we want to see a change in this community like we have seen. And that is because of all of you working together to try to get these issues addressed one by one. Okay? You have someone in the back?
My question is, I've been in my house 41 years, and I have concerns about the swell. The proper thing with the swell, because if mine's has nothing to do with the sewer, I want to understand the right way of, if I take up the stuff, the proper way of putting something down, because I have 2 trees on both sides of my property. And if I put grass, that tree is gonna kill the grass. So that's a big concern for me. I have no problem doing it 41 years, and now just getting that because I'm selling. And I just wanna know the proper way of doing it, so that that tree doesn't kill the grass, and then 2 years from now, I'm dealing with it again.
just to be clear, should be first, is the grassy area that's just between the sidewalk and the street surface. So though no one in here owns a swell, everyone's home is almost assuredly abutted or a swell is next to it, so you're required to maintain. So the young lady is having a maintenance issue because of the trees that are there. I heard her say she was in her home for 41 years. I would venture to say that the trees have been there almost as long.
No, it's not free. My area, I have my swell, I have the street or whatever that's been there forever, 41 years, and now they want me to take it up and plant grass. My problem is, I have no problem with that, but those trees are gonna kill grass, and that's just too much money to spend now, and maybe 2 years from now, it's gonna kill it. Those trees was planted by unincorporated Miami-Dade, which they're growing out of control. The seeds, I have grass maybe 4 months out of the year. After that, then those seeds start growing into my grass, and it's the same gonna happen next well. And I just wonder, why invest in that? Am I gonna go through this 2 years from now?
The best, let me suggest, maybe Jamal, if you're okay with that, Councilwoman, to get your contact information, and we'll pair you with Caleb from our Public Works Department, and they'll come out and give you best advice, and then you may qualify for some assistance through our Community Development Department that will be able to aid you with that project as well.
And just be aware, guys, she's absolutely right. There are gonna be some, issues with the swells in terms of where we're moving with the city. And I'm gonna have someone to come and speak to you about how that swell and what you gotta do with it is going to affect all of us. And so, you know, we're gonna bring somebody in to talk to you. And they'll be able to you'll be able to ask, and we will be able to answer where we're going with that, why we're going with it, da, 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 da. I don't think it'll be in the next meeting in February, but I will try to have it in March, okay?
Is there an ordinance, in reference to roosters crowing 5 hours a day? Or they
No,
look
the
like
roosters.
3 or 4 in the
I think
yard?
the rooster is the new mascot.
Well, having where they're treating the roosters is illegal. Here's the thing, if our code enforcement officers come out to address the issue, if they can't see it and not get granted permission to access the property, then they can't go and find them or have them to remove it. So that's the problem, but having them on the property, having them in the neighborhoods, in their homes, raising roosters and hens and chickens and all of
I don't even know if
that.
they're ready.
No, they're just random roosters. Go to the shopping center, they're all over there.
Okay, now, we're running a little bit short on time, so let's, try to keep our questions brief so that everyone will get an opportunity to be heard. Now, this is what we have, what I'm gonna do is that the lady in the back with the green hat, she had her hand up kinda like first. And what I'm gonna ask you to do, Jamal, is take the person who has the microphone now, let them speak, then go to her, and then let's work our way back around, okay? We can do that? Just me.
Also, I'll wait a little while after the meeting. Anyone who has a question or concern, you can come and speak with me, and I'll take any question or concern right then. The group is a little bit too large, and as the councilwoman said, time is a premium, so I'll stay over just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll be here all night with code enforcement.
And you know, I do think that it is very, very educational to hear the answers to some of your questions for all of us, because it's a learning experience, especially as it relates to many of you who are almost like block captains in your neighborhood. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I want to ask you, why you giving a violation for the dry swirl in December? It's winter, so the grasses are very dry, but all these violations, they've been given out for these swirl. I really think it don't make too much sense, because all these violations and the grass, don't care how much you water the swirl, it's still grass, it still get dry.
What is your question? What is your question about the dogs?
I understand your issue. It has to be grass. That's one of the things that prevents the most happen so much. But if grass actually grows there, the water will seep into the roots, and that keeps the localized flood.
The only thing I'm saying, in the winter, it gets very
I
dry.
understand, we're in a dry pattern, I was surprised to see rain early this morning when I left.
Miss Winter, we don't get winter in Miami. We don't have no winter.
Okay, yes, okay. Good evening to everyone. I just want to say, to Mr. DeVoe, okay, that my deepest sympathy to you in the loss of your mom. I just keep strong and cherish all the memories of her. And also to everyone, my name is Marjorie Allen Cross, and I've been a resident here since 1985. I just want to say to everyone, may you have a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year and all of God's riches to you and your families. Thank you. God bless you.
And say your greetings to the ladies.
Just real quick, and this question probably has been answered way before I started coming to the meeting. Why are we responsible for the grass in front of our houses when the water bill is through the roof? Why are we responsible for that? I just want to have that question. Because the people park on there, they say it's county property. So I just want to know, we need a petition to not be paying for these swells in front of our houses because the water is too high.
All right then.
The most simplest answer to that is that it's the state. It's a state law that the swells in front of houses, so it's not just a Miami-Dade County or Broward County thing. It is something that's implemented throughout the entire state of Florida. Because when Councilwoman and I we began our council term, that was one of the things that I had a question about as it relates to how can we fix this? How can we change this where residents are not responsible for it? And unfortunately, by our city attorney, it was nothing that we can do on the municipal level that can change that. That's something that has to be done.
It's just like the trees that they.
Yeah, that's something that has to be
And
changed on the
in your
state
yard,
level.
and you're responsible
Correct.
for it.
Yeah.
And so now you're ending up having to, or we are, because we're all residents, we have to cut back trees that we didn't order, didn't pay for, didn't ask for, and they're in our yards blocking the light in front of our homes. So we are all faced with these kinds of things, and I don't know what we could do. Here's what I'm saying to you. I don't know what we could do. But I think that we need to have a think tank.
Amen.
You know, sometimes we can think it through in ways that the implementation of it is done where it is a part of what residents agree is a fair way to be able to do. You know, I think that we cannot always take the thing to people and to the electeds or whatever. We have to begin to organize and use our own intelligence here to be able to figure out what works for us, you know? And I'll give Leslie Estates as an example. They were having major problems over there. And they got organized, and it only took 3, 4, 5 solid people to be consistent and to come up with what needed to be done, and then find the person who could get it done. And their solution was the solution that worked. It just took a galvanization of the resources to get it done. And so I'm saying the same thing about the swell, about the trees, even about the new mascot, the roosters. We gotta figure out a way to be able to harness that. And you guys have heard me say this before, you've heard me say this before, and I will never stop saying it. My granddaddy couldn't read or write, but they expected that because we were educated that we were gonna be doing better. When Shirley Gibson and those started this city, they said, if you don't want to govern us, we'll govern ourselves. Because we believe that we can do what? And so we are school teachers. That means that we're educated at a different level. We've been exposed. We've traveled the world. Some of us have been in some places that you would never imagine. We can sometimes think through the process ourselves and find a solution that we can work together to make conducive for us. So, you know, like, what would be a problem with having some other kind of way to get the trees cut out? How could we allocate money differently for our own taxable purposes to say we're going to cut this out, and it won't be similarly for a senior living in a place with this man here almost Well, if you got 900 of them to do, you're gonna work 5 years to do it, so we can make sure you get it less. Y'all follow what I'm saying? So we need to be able to take our own collective intelligence, our own ability, and not in a divided way, but in a way that brings us together collectively to come up with the right solutions that we all can say, I can get with that. Because if we don't start putting our heads together on the same issues to come up with viable solutions, we're gonna be left behind. We're gonna be left behind. Listen to what I'm telling you. We are going to be left behind. If you don't see it, you can see that the choo-choo train is being grump. Yes. So you gotta be able to, and then I'm gonna say this again, I'm gonna do it. Stop. A lot of you all that are in this room were a part of the civil rights movement. You knew how to march, you knew how to get lockstep, you knew how to bring about change that led to a lot of things that you were able to take advantage of. And that includes living up in Miami Gardens, which was Carroll City, the northern area. Many people moved here from Liberty City and over town. You know what I'm saying? Looking for a better life. So we have to look at ways we can preserve it, and we don't have to agree on every single thing. We just have to agree to stick together. Just stick together. Let's just say, I don't like that plan, but okay, let's go. Sometimes I eat food I don't like, but I'm hungry. So let's just be hungry enough for what is best for us. And let's go ahead on and let's try to get this. Let's try to get it done. Because I do believe that the trees is a safety to hazard issue. Safety to life issue. And if we don't get them sometimes cut down and trim in a way that when we're coming in our homes that we can see, we're gonna have a problem. Right? And I do think that maybe if we have animals around us that are not being vaccinated, that could lead to some other type of disease. So we gotta figure out a way to look at that. All of those are issues that collectively we can identify and we can think. You follow me? We can really think through the process. And I think that we'll be better off doing it together than apart. All right?
Yes.
Yes,
I just want to thank you personally for what you've done to help us let this thing get our roads and our lights, our drains, and whatever we're going to get. Thank you. It's been a fight since 2008.
Yeah.
With Shirley Gibson. And I've been there, but you came along, and we really appreciate you and your lawyer, who stayed with your lawyer last week. Thank you.
That was a challenge. But y'all stay supportive. I got a couple more announcements, and we're gonna let him. If you guys are more than welcome to stay. You're more than welcome to stay, and you can ask him any questions that you want. For those of you that want to get your food and get something to eat, I want to allow you to be able to do that. I think I had one person, who was that, somebody wanted to say something? Yes, sir. Really quick.
Good evening.
Somebody else said we need to swing. What can be done about that?
Say it again.
What's the question?
Somebody had seen it sway.
It's 5 minute address, man, and I'm going to investigate. That's a really weird thing.
Okay, one more, and then we're gonna close, yes.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on what the young lady said about the Leslie Estate. I saw it in the Miami Gardens paper. It says, you guys received 1.6 million for Leslie Estate drainage improvements. Leslie Estates have Leslie Estate 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, is this money for that area with those potholes only? Because I live in Leslie Estate number 4. And I
think
believe
that Leslie Estates is the one that's by the lake.
by the lake.
Yeah, there's a lake where across on the north side of 199, I think that money was designated for that Leslie Estate. And then there's a Leslie Estates portion that's like you say, they go 191 and behind Baby T and back there, those are other Leslie Estates, whatever. Those are the ones that we have the road improvements for. Now, it should be noted that when we take a look at the road improvements for that Leslie Estate, there are more than one, right? So, I don't know all of the numbers, but they received millions. And so what we couldn't do, we were not able to fix the roads, although we had the dollars to fix them. That came years ago. Yeah, so that pot of money was waiting for the state to be able to approve it. So we had to go to legal aid and receive assistance and go through a whole big to be able to get this approved by the state, because we had to take the thing up there and go up to the state and file the petition, and they kicked it back, and it's been a process, but God got it done. And so, I'm not sure which Leslie Estates you live in, or, but if you give it to Jamal, I can tell you whether you're affected by it, for sure, I don't wanna make that mistake.
Okay.
Okay, I got a couple more announcements, guys, and then we can go. I know that
Across
the
the
city
street, that's not her.
manager, the city manager, for those of you that live, in the, what I call Bajas, when you get to 207, you know that wall back over in there that was broken down and neighbors were having a problem, they are going to fix it.
Good.
And they're gonna fix it, and the wall is gonna look similar to the wall that's behind Miami Cal City that looks like slats. They're gonna put it up, and it'll be a little bit higher than what the wall, the existing wall is. And so it's gonna come before the council to approve that wall, so that it will be hopefully not the eyesore that it has been. It'll be a more, what's the word, sturdy, I don't know the word.
Aesthetically beautiful.
Impact resistant
There.
wall. And because the wall is going to be slats, when it breaks, it's much easier to take the slats out and put another one in. So the hard work and being able to get that one done, is kudos to both, council people, the previous one and the one that's there now, to push
And
that
Linda
forward
Mobley.
and get it done.
Linda
All
Mobley.
right?
Let's give credit where credit.
In March, this will be my last one, and it is called the Extraordinary Women Who Do Extraordinary Things. We always honor those women each year, and this year that honor will be occurring during Women's History Month, which is in March, and I think the date we're looking at is March 28th. And so, if you guys we have a couple of nominations that are still open. If you would like to nominate someone, you can feel free to contact our office and nominate who you believe is an extraordinary woman who does extraordinary things, okay? And, okay, y'all need to do that before the end of the month. Okay. Deal? And that looks like everything that's on your list here.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Claudia Robinson. I'm one of the victim advocates of Miami Gardens Police Department. Anybody know what a victim advocate does? So we assist victims of crime with crisis prevention. We give them resources. We help them complete the application for the Attorney General Victim of Crime funding. And we are having our first Love Shouldn't Hurt. This is an extension of October Domestic Violence. It's going to be a resource fair. It will be at Betty T. Ferguson on February 6th from 11 to 1. And we're hoping that you all will show up and get there. Okay? And if you know somebody who is dealing with domestic violence, please call your local police department or 1-800-500-1119.
Now, that's super important, because sometimes when people fall victim to anything, there's a lot of depression and sadness, a lot of things that go on, and because of that, they're not able to help themselves. And so they need the comfort of people around them in their community to help them access resources. And so a lot of times we have things in this city that are dying, and we don't know it. Follow me? We don't know it. And so if you can go by and even just see what you can see, you can probably help someone. Even if you can't. Just knowing that, hey, you know what, Paul, over there, the city has resources. I say that because a lot of times our residents feel that other people are taking advantage of things that we have, and we're not. And sometimes it's just a matter of passing the word around. If you're a victim of abuse, of neglect, you know, even sometimes with your finances, your health, not even knowing how to get your medicine delivered to you. There are a myriad of different things that you might access just knowing. And even if we don't offer it, they may be able to point you in the direction where you can find it. So it is not good to see someone being abused, whether that is a grown person or a child. And you're looking at it and you don't know where to go and what to do about it. So those kinds of things help our community, one, to repair the harm that has been done to people, while at the same time to ensure that they can feel that they're safe, because there is access to resources. Okay? All right, guys, I want to say thank you so much. It's glad to see all of you. Please make yourself available. I'm going to take care of you. May God bless you. Wait. Can I get someone to say the closing prayer? Yes. You know we don't have an name. No, you are.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for getting us together one more time. Thank you for your love, your grace, and your mercy. Lord, continue to give us strength and the faith that we need to move forward in our very diverse, progressive city. Please bring us all home safe and return again in order to do the works that you set out for us. These and all other blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
November 9th, February 9th, the mayor will be here. Mayor, Danielle will be here.